Yanuj, is that your name? Ruth? Hi, Nikki and Helen, welcome. Okay, it's straight. I'm good. It doesn't look very straight, but I think it's because my blind goes a bit like this. And I can't get it to be flat. Hi, Kate. Welcome. Good morning, Nazna. Hi, SJ. Welcome, everybody. I hope you have already had a beautiful morning. If you've been up and about, doing your thing. Okay, I'm straight. Thanks, Angela. Great. Good to go. I wanted to get up some info that I happened to come across. Hi, Chris. Hi, Jordan. Hey, Kate. Morning, Brie. Because we're going to have a little chat about Kriya today. And last night, as I was preparing for this morning's philosophy training, there just happened to be a little bit of a synopsis in the Yoga Sutras. Hi, Kitty. Hey, Brie, you went for a walk in the mist along Mary Creek. What has everybody else done this morning? Hi, Simon, our favorite Shiva. Hi, Indu. Hey, sis. Hey, Tay. Good morning. This morning, I woke up quite early. I did 108 rounds of Gayatri Mantra, and then I meditated, and then I did, like, I have, a cleansing routine. You did the washing. Well, it's got to be done. Buongiorno. You've just stood up and gotten out of bed. I like it. You're all the way in Flinders. Then I did my new Tantra practice, and then I brewed up some matcha, and I just realized I forgot it because I made a second batch. You did a chakra dance class on the beach. Yes, how good does that sound? I love that. You got your kid ready for school, the old kid. Remember that? When your mum would have to come in and wake you up? Actually, that didn't happen in Year 12. I'm sure you're not doing that with her. She's a highly motivated young woman. You did the mentorship sadhana. Yes, amazing. Move with Flow, welcome. Amy, B. And then I made this really super delicious breakfast. You're recovering from some minor surgery, so you're still in bed listening to you on my pillow. Perfect. You stay chilled. I wonder if you have anybody who can come and bring you a tea at some point. Hi, Georgie. Hi, Warren. Good morning. Yeah, and then I made up a super delicious brekkie and hung out with my flatmate. And I had a big salad. I was really inspired of a while ago. It must have been 2 or 3 years ago. By Katie from the Staple Store did a post on what she feeds her daughter for breakfast, and it was spaghetti or something. And she just said, we just eat food. We don't have to have breakfast food. We don't have to have any kind of food. And it really made me think. It's so true. We have been ingrained that we have to eat certain things in the morning, and I don't even really want to. Did I wake up at 3 a.m.? I know. No, I woke up around 6. Yeah, to do this all. I don't always wake up at 6 and do a really big breakfast like that, but yeah. But I wanted to eat because after this, I go straight into the philosophy training, and then I don't eat for ages. Tom's favorite from a cafe in LA is breakfast spaghetti carbonara. We can actually eat whatever we want for breakfast. I think we really need to start this as a thing. It was great. I had this big salad. I had cucumber and carrot croutons, and then I had these delicious veggie balls, and it was a delicious breakfast. I love Italians. Cake for breakfast. Simone, is that what you have in the mornings? An espresso or a caffè latte, and then a whole lot of biscotti. When I did an exchange to Italy, I could not grasp it because I would always have a big meal for breakfast. It's not in the Italian philosophy. And when I was in Italy, and the mum came out and she had like this little bag of biscotti, and I just would be eating a whole bag of biscotti every day for breakfast. I think they thought I was a massive pig. Ah, well, I put on about 10 kilos in that trip. All the things you can do in a morning, huh? T was taking care of the dogs. And it's only 8:30. The whole day is yet ahead of us. So I wanted to discuss a question that was brought up yesterday around what is Kriya. So sometimes I will, basically the sweet stuff or a toasty. Toasty's pretty good. Sometimes I will say certain words. For example, I'll roll them off the tongue, Kriya, as if everybody knows what Kriya means or is. And I want you to pick me up on that. If I am doing that as a teacher and talking about concepts that you're not 100% sure of, or any Sanskrit words that you want clarification on, I really want you to feel like you can just type it in and let me know, and then I can talk about it. So Kriya is a word, in fact, that's found through the Yoga Sutras, which is a very old text. It was said to be written somewhere around 300 after the Common Era, or like AD. But some sources say it was much older than that, about 500 or 600 years older than that. And it's one of the texts that is very popular now and is used a lot by yoga teachers. And one of the sutras, so one of the kind of lines in the sutras says, Tapaha Swadhyaya Ishvara Pranidhana Nani Kriya Yogaha. So they're talking about Kriya Yoga in the sutras way back. And this is before there's any discussion of postures in the texts, but Kriya Yoga is part of practice, even 2,000 years ago, and much more, much longer than that, because these texts are a consolidation of knowledge that has been practiced for a long time before they're brought into text form. And Kriya has many, the Yoga Sutras, Sutras. The Yoga Sutras is something that in this philosophy course I go into in great depth, so I'll be talking about them today. Can I please provide the reference in the text? So this is Pada 2, Sutra 1. So the second chapter, the first sutra in the second chapter. The Yoga Sutras by Patanjali, yes. And Patanjali could have been a group of people, it might have been one person. That's to be said. So, Kriya is always about action. And I talk a lot about action. You're welcome. Is it Priti? I talk a lot about yoga as being a course of action. So even meditation is action. And yoga is not about us sitting back and doing nothing in our lives. It is 100% about us taking action. Even when we don't take action, that's action. So, yes, Priti. Okay, great. So the kind of base of this word, kar, means action. And this comes into karma as well, action. But in Kriya, the ya refers to a sense that it is action that will be leading us towards transcendence, whereas the kar and the ma, the karma, this word is action that leads us into cycle. So we're stuck in a cycle. Now, the cycle of karma is one which is often to do with our conditioning. So if we are conditioned to be a certain way in the world, and this conditioning can come from culture, society, it can come from our family, it can come from our upbringing, it can be something that we're born with, perhaps a personality trait, but it keeps leading us into cycle, then it's an action that brings about karma. So you can think that, for example, something happens. It's really hard when you're conditioned from childhood. So when things happen to you in childhood, for example, a parent leaves or a parent is abusive, then very often you are conditioned by that experience as a young person. And so you learn to believe certain things to protect yourself. For example, I can't trust anybody, could be one. Or everybody who loves me leaves. It's another good one. There are many. I mean, they go on forever and ever. So there's been an experience. You've created a coping mechanism, and it becomes a conditioning. Words, actions, Kriya is evolutionary action. It's all the same, in fact. There is action even in thought, Avril. So with karma, you start to play this out constantly in your life. Every time somebody you love comes into your life, you push them away because they're going to leave you, or you think that you can't trust them. And so you're in this cycle and you think, why can't I ever be in a relationship that works? Or why do they always leave? Because you're creating the conditions. And this is an action which is you're constantly in cycle. And Kriya is there to say, hey, why don't we step out of an action which is keeping us in cycle? Why don't we instead move into action? And Avril, it's a great question. Kriya is about reforming thought in the end as well. So taking action, which means that we're stepping out of conditioning and moving towards transcendence. Now, Kriya is action, and very often also physical action. So it's, yes, we're working with thoughts, but how do we work with our thoughts? Well, we can work through cleansing, shifting, moving the body in very specific ways. So Kriya is a movement that is done with a specific intention. There is an intention kind of encoded within the specific movement that you might be doing. There is a specific outcome that comes from a Kriya, and it often involves repetitive movement and breath and intention. And these Kriya allow you to work with the mind, but from a space of the body. Transformative. Yes, Avril, exactly. So one is keeping us in cycle and one is transformative. Kriya also, so this has come from my notes around the Yoga Sutras, and that particular sutra is, there's 3 parts: training and purifying the senses through tapas. So a purification through the body. And in yoga, they discuss the Shat Karmas, the 6 cleansing actions. The physical practice of Kriyas has transformed your life. That's beautiful, Kate. I'm so glad. So Kriya also refers to these actions that are cleansing us, and they can cleanse us physically. So you can do certain things like scrape your tongue, you can do Kapalbhati breath, you can drink salty water first thing in the morning, let it churn up your guts, and you can vomit it all out. Vamana Kriya. You won't be vomiting up any food, so don't do it after your super delicious, salady, healthy breakfast. You do that beforehand. And all of these Shat Karmas should be guided by a teacher. So these cleansing actions are one. You can also look at Swadhyaya as being part of Kriya. So this deep self-study, which is looking at conditioning. And so much gratitude for you, Cyan, for introducing me to so many through the mentorship. You're welcome, Kate. You're welcome. It is my deep pleasure to be able to gift them to you all. And then another aspect of Kriya is devotion, in letting go to the creative force of the universe, Ishvara Pranidhana, which is all part of Kriya as well. Kriyas in Tantra are often, because of this kind of movement that leads to transcendence, or action that leads to transcendence, sometimes when you're doing tantric practice, people kind of spontaneously move. Their body kind of shakes or moves if they're doing a really deep breath work, or if they're doing an intense meditation, and their body kind of moves without volition. Would that be the right way of saying it? So without their mind isn't moving their body, it's almost like their body moves. So in this kind of condition, it's also called, you're experiencing kriyas, movements of the body that are kind of shifting something, moving energy as well. What I teach in the mentorship, which is a year-long program, a specific kriya with specific kind of intention or outcome. So they could be a breath practice. Some of you were there the other night. So breath and movement at once with specific intention. This was one of the ones that we did the other night. One of the favorites that I like to talk about, which is one of the first ones that I teach in the mentorship, your arms are up at about 60 degrees. You inhale the left, you exhale the right. And it kind of seems okay for about 15 seconds, but you do it for 4 minutes. So there are many kriya. There are so many kriyas. So helpful to have this perspective. And contrast, kriya versus karma. It feels like the whole period of COVID is a potential and potent kriya or another karmic cycle, depending on how we respond. Yes, that's so true. I did one of your kriya videos and created such fire and energy. I felt so empowered afterwards. Torture. Well, it can be torture. It can be torture, yeah. Because, you've got to go through the fire to make it through the other side, to release from all of your conditioning. It isn't easy work. It's not for the faint-hearted. It brings up a lot of stuff. It brings up pain in the body. It cleanses the body. It brings up everything that's going on in your mind. It brings up all of your resistance. It just brings it all up. And it's very, very powerful work. So when I talk about kriya can be great for many things, and specifically for releasing and moving out of karma. So starting to live a life of dharma. Kriya can really support that. And if you're a physical person, and if you want to take action through the body, this is a very tantric way of being in the world as a yogi, then kriya are a great way to do that. So at the moment, the mentorship group, I'll teach them a set of kriya, of pranayam, of meditations, and then they'll do that for an entire month. So they'll really go through all of it. And by the end of the month, they've had this very deep and profound experience of what the kriya has created in their own life, what it's brought up. People cry, people feel pain, people feel numb, people feel resistance, they don't want to do it, they don't want to show up. Everything happens with the kriya, and it is all a reflection of yourself. It's just a reflection of what's going on within you. This is why I love the Kundalini, for the challenges and pain to the final liberation to bliss. Morning, Tom, welcome. So if you are interested, if you're wanting to do these practices, in fact, Tom, you did some of these kriya practices in the meditation course that we did years ago. These kind of movements of left to right, they can be so liberating. They take you into a space which is really profound for meditation. And we don't have time today, but I'm going to do a Satchitananda Kriya with you this week. So perhaps tomorrow we can do it together, now that you know what Kriya is. I could keep talking about yoga forever, but it's 10:02. So let's move into the meditation. Find a comfortable seat, have a stretch if you need to. Yay, Kriya for everyone. There is Kriya on the online membership as well. So that's under the Soulful Practice. If you're wanting to experience Kriya, or come to any of the live stream that we run as well, because I'm always doing Kriya as part of a kind of a soulful practice that I'll do. Settle into your seat, lengthen through the spine. And take a deep breath in the nose and out of the mouth. One round of Om. Inhale the gaze to the third eye. And feel with that mantra a subtle shift, a movement towards stillness. We take the palms to face up and we consciously let go of our morning, whatever has passed, whether it's been walks or washing dogs, whatever has happened for you this morning, all of the mundane action, any cycle or pattern of thinking that is karmic, keeping you trapped, any habit, for now, let it go. And align your consciousness with that which is divine, sublime, and moving towards transcendence and growth. And from this elevated state of consciousness, we consecrate, offering up all of the karmic fruits, anything that might keep us in karma from this practice. Instead, we offer it all up to a greater power. We step out of karma, we offer it up, and we wait for a response. You'll feel it from above. Rub the palms together quickly, feeling the heat of the light in the palms of your hands. Cup the eyes for one breath. And as you exhale, wipe the hands through the body. And rest them down on the knees. And we make our way into Guru Mantra meditation. We work with the mantra Sat Chit Ananda. Sat is the truth. Chit is consciousness. Ananda is bliss. The truth of our being and consciousness is pure bliss. We say it out loud together to begin. Sat Chit Ananda. 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 A little softer. Sat Chit Ananda. 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 softer still. Sa Chit Ananda. Sa Chit Ananda. Till it becomes a whisper. Chit Ananda. Sa Chit and the whisper becomes a silently repeated mantra. Sa Chitananda. Let it echo through the mind and the body. And if you become distracted, bring the mind back to the mantra Sa Chitananda. Sa Chitananda. And for the final few moments of this meditation, really absorb your mind in the mantra, knowing you don't have much time left. Go deep into this vibration which unlocks the truth of your bliss within. Sa Chitananda. Now keep your focus strong, but let go of the mantra, let it evaporate, float out of your consciousness, leaving only pure awareness. Om Bhadrang Karnevihi Shrunuyama Devaha Bhadram Pashe Makshabhirya Chatraha Stirirangai Stushtuvargam Sastanubihi Vyashema Devahitin Yadayuhu. Hands to prayer, Shanti Mantra. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. to that part of ourselves that is yearning always for growth and transformation. And we call upon eyes that see the lessons that we are here in our bodies to see, ears open to awaken and receive the lessons that our soul desires in this time, this short time we have on earth together. To that transcendent yearning within us and all those who have joined us this morning. To that we bow and say, Namaste. Namaste to you all. I'm glad you enjoyed that teaching, Claire. Well, I have to now teach this philosophy in much greater depth in this philosophy training. Thank you all for joining this satsang this morning and the meditation. Great, Viv. Yeah, a nice shift. Thanks for joining, Rubes. Thanks, Jack, for joining, and Bree, Beck. Thanks, Therese and Sari. I'll see you soon. Danielle and Georgie. Thank you, Kirsty, too, and Jess. Thank you, my beautiful friend, Maria, Kate. You all enjoy this frosty day. Oh, and for those who are wanting to do longer meditation practices that are guided, they are on the Light Collective membership. So at the very top of the membership, if you join, and if you join because it's pro rata, the end of the month, we might be changing this. So if you're new and want to join now and have a little trial, you can have a trial and it will only cost you, especially with the code, maybe $10 for the rest of the month and everything in there. So if that's something you want to sneak in and do before we change the way we set up our memberships, I would recommend it. I wish you could have been part of the philosophy teaching as well, Jess. Okay, that's Jamie. I gotta go, people. Thank you all for joining.